Good morning, everyone. What a glorious day. Welcome to the new Bayview Library. Yay! I'm Luis Herrera, the city librarian, and it's my pleasure to be the MC for today's celebration. And I'd like to, first of all, take a moment to thank our neighbors at the Bayview Opera House for organizing that wonderful procession that we had coming down from the Opera House to the library. And in particular, I'd like to give Barbara Oker, the executive director of the Opera House, a shout out and a round of applause for her help in this. Let's do that. Barbara, where are you? I know she's in the audience somewhere. And how about that wonderful music? They are called the Wasaso, led by Mohammed Lamin Bengura. So it's fantastic to have him. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay. So it wasn't too long ago that we had a wonderful groundbreaking ceremony. And at that ceremony, we were led in a beautiful invocation by the Pastor Aurelius Walker from the True Hope Church of God in Christ. He's back to lead us in an invocation. So with that, Pastor Walker. Thank you.
To our distinguished Mayor Ed Lee and city officials, my brothers and sisters, before I do the invocation, I'd like to talk about, just quickly, real quickly, a young man in the Greek culture. He wanted to be wise. He was determined to get wisdom. So Socrates came through his community, and he started following Socrates. He said, "Oh, wise and noble Socrates, I want wisdom." Socrates walked down to the beach, walked out in the water, ducked him under the water. When he came, I said, "Young man, what do you want?" He said, "Oh, great and noble Socrates, I want wisdom." He ducked him down one more time, kept him down there about 50 seconds. When he came up, he said, "I want air." He said, "What do you want, young man?" He said, "I want air. I want air." He said, "When you want wisdom, like you want air, you are going to get wisdom." And that's why we're having this great facility here today, so we can change the image of this community from violence and killing and all those negative things to positive wisdom for the glory of God. Will you be so kind to join me in a word of prayer? Gracious and eternal God, as we pause here today in the Bayview Hunters Point community, we want to, number one, thank you for giving the city officials, the library people, and all those that are responsible for beginning this process, but it have been completed. That's the joy of completion. And you said, "If any man lack wisdom, let him ask you, who giveth all men freely." Wisdom is more precious than gold, than silver, than rubies. It's lengthening of life and days. And God, we claim that, and thank you for this neighborhood and for those responsible. In thy name we pray. Thank God. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Walker. Also like to acknowledge the Pastor Bailey from the Olivet Baptist Church across the way that were so generous in allowing us to have the construction site in their parking lot. Let's give him a big round of applause and our appreciation. Thank you to Pastor Smith with St. Luke's Baptist Church for their generosity in today's celebration as well. Thank you very much, Pastor Smith. And let's now take a moment to hear from a library neighbor that just so happens to be our 6th poet laureate. It's always wonderful to celebrate with poetry. And with that, I'd like to introduce Alejandro Murguia. Alejandro.
Thank you very much, Luis. You cannot imagine how happy I am today. I remember 35 years ago when the Bayview Opera House was first opened, and what a jolt of energy and creativity it was for this community. And I would hope that now, with the Bayview Opera House there, the Bayview Library here, anchoring this community, to reclaim this community for our young people with hope, with poetry, with literacy, and with reading skills, that this will be the new creative center of San Francisco, where poets, artists, musicians, dancers are welcomed and can find the spirit to create and change the perception of this neighborhood, as the Reverend just said. And I want to offer as a program, hopefully everyone will support it, with Jeffrey and the Quesada initiative, to create murals with poems of young people all over this neighborhood, and that will be one of the projects I hope to launch in the coming months and hope to get your support for this. And now, if you'll permit me, I'll do a poem in honor of the Bayview Library. Today, I'm going to wear a hat, step out on my porch in a big floppy one and wave hello to the world. Or maybe a mysterious fedora, brim down low, I would investigate the missing brown buffalo. Or perhaps a Greek fisherman's cap in honor of the briny deep, sirens and mermaids rocking me. Or, oh, a big Mexican sombrero would do, with silver thread along the edge that would hurt because of you. Or I could make a crazy cat hat with balloons and milagritos on the crown, and then I would stroll down 3rd Street leading a lobster on a leash. Or how about a brown beret cocked over angry eyebrow, and I would shout, power to the people, and other slogans I forget. I could try a cloud with a blue ribbon wrapped around it like a song, or none of that. Today, in honor of the brand new Bayview Library, today I'm going to wear the sky as my hat, and then I'll pass it on to you so you can wear it too.
Thank you, Alejandro. Power to the people. And he wants to create or make San Francisco the city of poets. What a wonderful, wonderful vision. We are indeed thrilled to be opening our new library today. And through the entire process, we've been so fortunate to have amazing support from our mayor's office from the very beginning of the branch improvement program. So it's indeed an honor and a pleasure to introduce our mayor, Mayor Ed Lee. Mayor Lee.
Morning, everybody. All right, welcome to our Bayview. Well, as our poet laureate, Mr. Murguia, said, he was about to wear a hat, so I was looking for a hat this morning. And I have a trunk full, but I was looking for something that would be representative, and I had to find the hat that was like World Series type of hat, because this is a World Series event. And when you look at what we're doing with all of our libraries across our neighborhoods, you know that this is yet probably one of the best examples of building a community center. And, you know, as much as this brick and mortar is beautiful, it's got a community center that's going to be useful when the library's not even open. It's got the library with double the number of computers. But as importantly is how we put it together. And it took a little longer. And the reason it took a little longer was because people who lived in this community wanted the input that they hadn't had in a long time. They wanted this building representative of them. And so it's more than a library. It is a community center. It is an example of how you get a contractor like Freddie Carter to become romantic after 50 years of struggle. How he, and working with Public Works and the architects and the library and its commission, were able to get some 68% local businesses involved. Over half of the hours put in this were San Francisco residents, 25% from Bayview alone. Is this what we mean by invest in our neighborhoods? Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you look at this library, think of the people that put it together. Think of the hours. Think of the many hours that the kids and the families will spend here safely learning, increasing their knowledge, improving themselves. Think of the friends of the library who will continue raising funds to keep the computers running, keep furniture modern, keep the rooms active with the little study halls that I just saw, and the gardens that are beautifully invested in inside. It's a community effort that makes these libraries what they are. And now that we're at the tail end of the branch library program, we're asking Luis, what's next? Because he's led this effort so beautifully, but he's led it in a way that honors the building of community. That to me is so important. And with the supervisors here, with Assemblyman Amiano and Scott Wiener's here, David Chu, of course, the board president's here, Malia Cohen should be here soon, and thanks to Malia, we're investing some $800,000 more along the 3rd Street corridor to make the whole neighborhood wake up. Yeah, get involved. Everybody, keep involved. And if we have to take a little longer, we'll do it because the quality will be there. That's what a World Series library looks like. So I want to thank you for all joining us today. And like mayors get to do, I got a proclamation. And I'd like to present this to our new librarian in Bayview, Beverly. Thank you very much, Beverly, to you and Luis. And to honor your leadership here and to declare this day to be Bayview Branch Library Day in San Francisco.
Thank you, Mayor. So eloquently stated in terms of the meaning of what this neighborhood library means to us. You know, when we began planning the library about 6 years ago, it was amazing how the community told us loud and clear that they didn't want to settle for a modest renovation or an expansion. They wanted a new library that had great space for more books and media. They wanted a library that had amazing spaces for young people to spend the time and hang out after school so they could learn. They wanted a space that would provide dedicated areas for the teens to create and contemplate and to be engaged. They also wanted a state-of-the-art place for technology, a 21st century library that not only celebrated the community but looked towards the future. And I think we've done that. We have at least 19 computer stations, laptop lending for the community, digital media throughout, and a community room, as the mayor stated, is going to be wonderful for civic engagement and for the community to come together for lectures and programs and celebrations. All of that has happened. This is your library, and when you go inside, you'll find a welcoming space that's going to serve many, many generations to come. But it does take a wonderful and strong partnership. And I'm very proud of the fact that we've worked very closely with the community, but also very closely with a team of wonderful, hardworking people between the Department of Public Works and the library. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge the terrific work that the BLIP program manager, Lena Chen, has done throughout the projects. Lena, where are you? Lena? And I know you'll hear from some other folks at DPW because it's a large team. But I want to acknowledge my colleague and department head, Mohammed Nuru, for the great job he's done. And Edward, all of those folks, Freddie Carter, they were true partners in this endeavor. On the library side, our Deputy City Librarian, Jill Bourne, Linda Brooks Burton. Linda is an institution in our neighborhood. And so we really love what she does here. Ed Melton. Ed, where are you? Our Chief of Branches. He's back here. He's done a terrific job. And Elsie Wong, who has also worked very diligently throughout. But let's not forget, some very important people are going to be here to serve you and to do a wonderful job in community building. You've already met Beverly Hayes. He's done a great job here, our branch manager. But the team is behind us, and I want them to wave. And I'm going to call out their names because they deserve it. Naomi Jelks, Christina Mitra, Deborah Franklin, Ming-Yi Guan, Tia Addison, and Rachel Brooks. Let's give them a big round of applause because they're going to do a fabulous job for all of us. Now, I wish you could all see the beautiful art panels that are right outside the library. And when I talked about community ownership, one of the highlights you'll see is the culture and the history that's reflected in these art panels. We have an amazing architectural team that used the San Francisco History Center to research the library and the history of this community. And it's reflected there for us to celebrate what a beautiful community it is. And it really does, in terms of the design, capture the spirit, captures the identity of what the Bayview neighborhood is all about. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the terrific architectural team. From Thomas Hacker and Associates, we have Casey Juergens, Nick Hodges. Where are they? No, back here. And I know we'll also acknowledge them later. Back here, a fabulous job was done. And their partner from Karen Payson and Associates, Karen Payson, Marie Claire, back here. Thank you for the fabulous, fabulous work. So that's the team, the dream team, as I call it, that made it all happen, working hand in hand with the community. So with that, I'd like to now introduce, I see that our supervisor's still not here, but we'll wait a few more moments. But our board president is here, David Chu. David, I know you have a wonderful opportunity throughout the day, Chinese New Year. David, great to have you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. The sun is shining on the Bayview today. When I was in grade school, in first grade and second grade and third grade, my Chinese immigrant mother every Saturday morning would wake me up and say, "We're going to our local public library." And this is where I read the children's books about Abraham Lincoln and Harriet Tubman. This is where I learned about the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King and Cesar Chavez and Mahatma Gandhi. And like every adult here, these libraries are what inspire our values, inspire who we are as people, inspire who we are as a city. And I want to thank you today. Just look around this crowd today. We represent the diversity, the mosaic, not just of San Francisco, but of the world. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it is our libraries that educate us, that give us the knowledge and the culture of what our world is about. And I want to thank you for being part of this beautiful mosaic, being part of the village that is not just the Bayview, but San Francisco. There have been a lot of thanks today, and I, of course, want to thank all the city staff, the library, the Department of Public Works, our mayor, our local supervisor for coming together to build the 27th of 28 libraries. I have to tell you, I'm incredibly excited that we finished number 27, because as Luis knows, number 28 is in my district, so it's time to get to work in North Beach. But to just close, I want to thank all of you, the community, because every single one of you here is the reason why we did this work to get this done, to make sure that the Bayview has a library that is fit for the rest of the 21st century. Congratulations.
Thank you, Supervisor Chu. And just so you know, your library is under construction, and we'll be there a year from now celebrating that wonderful, wonderful project. It's also my pleasure to welcome a supervisor from District 8, who's also tremendously supportive, and he's got quite a few libraries in his district as well, Supervisor Scott Wiener. Scott.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you, Luis, and congratulations to the community on this wonderful building, this wonderful library and community space. I was here for the groundbreaking, and it's so wonderful to see the project complete. Sometimes people ask me, why do you go to all the library openings around the city? Well, one of the reasons is that the libraries in my district were done before I took office, so I try to share vicariously with other communities around the city on the joy of getting a new library. But more important than that, you know, we might be sort of divided up into neighborhoods and districts and elect our supervisors by district, but we're one city. We're one city, and if you're in the Castro or North Beach or Richmond, you have to care what happens in the Bayview, and vice versa. We all have to be looking out for each other and working together to build a great city. And I'm so proud of this city for supporting our library system. There are other parts of the state and the country that are shutting down libraries. We're improving our libraries. We're making them even better than they were before, community spaces for the 21st century. So congratulations to the community and to all of us. This is a wonderful day.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you. I appreciate it. Wonderful. Okay, our Supervisor Cohen is here, and I should add that she reminds me all the time that she has the lion's share of libraries in her district, 4 to be exact. but now this one really is kind of the capstone to all the wonderful libraries. So Supervisor Malia Cohen, thank you for being here.
Hey, Bayview. Good morning. Hello, young scholars. Where are my little young people? I see them. Hello. Oh, my God. I swear the Bayview Library is probably the crown jewel in all of the libraries of the city. I'm sorry, Scott, and I'm sorry, David. But we really have it going on here, don't we? This is one of the most blessed occasions, really, that we get to experience together as a community. This building harvests our archives of our culture, of our tradition, of the contributions that Bayview community members have made, not only to the Bayview, but to the entire city and county of San Francisco. And if that's not a reason to celebrate, I don't know what better reason there is. What better grand opening is there than the Bayview Library opening? Here we are collectively coming together to share our thoughts, our experiences, our traditions right here on the corner, a pivotal corner that's been the corner of all the action along the 3rd Street Merchant Corridor. So today is a really exciting time because it's a hallmark of not only what's to come, but it's the meeting place of what has come, and it houses our past, our culture. And when I talk about our culture, I'm talking about San Francisco culture, not solely African-American culture, because this is a community that has been ingratiating and welcoming people for decades. And this is a time when you start to see change along the 3rd Street corridor. This is the time not to be fearful of the change, but to understand and to embrace it, because this change is not about moving people out. It's about moving people up through education and through access to information. So I want to acknowledge all of our city partners here today. Thank you for being here. Assemblyman Amiano, thank you. Mayor Lee, Pastor Walker. Oh, I see Gina from the YMCA, another homegrown favorite. Anyway, I just wanted to come out and say a couple words to you. You all look beautiful. I love you. All right. Have a good day. We're going to utilize this resource, right? It is not going to go empty. It is not going to be dormant. We're going to have this be the center of excellence and learning. All right. Amen. All right.
Wonderful. Supervisor, it's going to be one of the more vibrant and alive places, so absolutely right. Thank you so much. Another person that's been wonderfully supportive of our libraries throughout, when he was a supervisor here in San Francisco with the Mission and the Bernal Library, is none other than our state senator, assembly person rather, Tom Amiano. So I've just promoted him. All right, Tom.
Thanks for the promotion, and we'll be looking at the governor's race soon too. It's, what the hell? I could be my own first lady. Think of that, you know. Well, good tidings. You know, I remember the first library bond a long time ago, 1988. And people were worried that the people in the neighborhoods would not be respectful to the libraries, et cetera, and it won overwhelmingly. And ever since then, we've all proven that it takes a village, and we supported those bonds unanimously, particularly around building the branch libraries. Of course, in San Francisco, it takes the village people, as you know. That's a little different, but... And I remember teaching at the old Bayview School and how beautiful the kids were and how challenged the parents were to provide education for those kids and how neglected this area was. Well, we have turned that around, and we've turned that around because of our spirituality, because of our work ethic, and because of our pride and our dependence on the future for our kids. So God love us all. This is a beautiful, beautiful building. And, you know, anytime you want any help, anytime, night or day, please feel free to call Supervisor Malia Cohen. No, you can call me too. That's all right.
Thanks.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. So we're getting excited about coming inside, aren't we? We're almost there, so bear with us. But once you go inside, we want you to make sure you take a look at the beautiful public art that's inside. The San Francisco Arts Commission commissions local artists, and we're so proud that the local artist is from the Bayview. His name is Ron Moultrie Sanders. Ron. And his artwork is truly inspiring. They're what they call photograms. and there's two of them. One is called Spirit and Nature Dancing Together, and the other one is called Symbiotic Relationships. So I hope you get a moment to reflect and contemplate. One of them is inside a beautiful courtyard, and the other one is inside the library. So enjoy that. And I do want to thank the executive director from the San Francisco Arts Commission, Tom DeCaney, who's with us today. A colleague and department head Tom is here. Judy Nemhoff, also from the Arts Commission. Let's give them a round of applause. They do great work out there. And I've already told you about the wonderful mutual admiration society that we have with DPW and the library and my colleague Mohammed, so he needs no introduction. But with that, Mohammed Nero. Mohammed.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Luis. First of all, I'm just proud of the partnership that the Department of Public Work has with the library, your entire staff, your commission, all your leadership. Today, we're going to break ground on library number 23 in the city. 23. A big hand for this program, please. Absolutely. I'm also very fortunate to have a very great staff. Lena Chen, our project manager. Michael O'Brien, our construction manager. Our city engineer, Fuad Swiss. Our city architect, Edgar Lopez. All put hands together to make this happen. But most importantly, our former director, who is now head of MTA, Ed Riskin, who actually started this project. Where is Ed? Yeah. When Ed was director, certain goals were set to accomplish this project. Local business, the goal was set at 30%. Can anybody guess how many percent local businesses got part of this library? 68%. Subcontracting goals, more than 50% of the subcontractors came from this neighborhood. And most important, all the hours that were put to build this library, 25% of the workforce from 94124. I'd like to thank our contractors, Freddie Carter and Mike. Where is Freddie? Freddie, come up here. Please, a big hand for Freddie. Every time I would stop by early in the morning, 6:30, sometimes in the evening, 8 o'clock, Freddie was in that office over there making sure that the work was getting done. Freddie worked and held hands to many of the workers from our community and made this project possible. It is a very, very good example that people like Freddie, when they go the extra mile, teach our own residents and people who live here how to do things. We can do it. We can do it. And I hope this sets the pace for future projects in San Francisco. All the neighborhoods from the various residents, we can go and we can build more libraries, more police stations, more firehouses, more community facilities. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mohammed. Now, we also wanted what we call an energy efficient, a green library, right? That's sustainable. And we've gotten that. If you look at that building, you've got a living roof, a green living roof. We also have solar panels. And I think this is all due to the partnership we've had with the Department of Environment in San Francisco. This is actually going to be the highest rated LEED, which stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. It's a LEED Gold, which is at the top of the level. How about let's hear it for our friends at Department of the Environment, particularly Mark Palmer, Sean Rosenmoss. They're all here today to celebrate with us. Another group of folks that have been dedicated to making sure that the entire program is completed on time, on schedule, has been the Library Commission. They give of their time, they provide direction, policy for the library, and with us today is our Vice Chair, Commissioner Lee Munson. Lee. Thank you, Lee, and I know there's several other commissioners in the audience. We have Teresa Ono, and I saw Larry Kane out there, so let's give them a big round of applause because they truly deserve our acknowledgement. Okay, so now we have another partnership with a great group of folks that help us in the fundraising and building capacity for the library. So we have with us today the Executive Director of the Friends of the Library, Scott Staub. Scott.
Thank you, Louise. It's a great pleasure to be with the Friends, and this was been a community effort where we had donations from $3 to $100,000. And you can still get a piece of the history of the old library back over there by making a donation. And this wouldn't have been possible without our Bayview community campaign. And there behind me, if you can all raise your hands. Can I come up? Yeah, there's a whole bunch of you. Come on up. Come on up, because these were the folks raising the money here in your community for this beautiful branch. Also, we have here Diane Gray, who's going to make a board member making a very special presentation.
Hello. It is a glorious day. And someone said the sun is shining on Bayview. The sun always shines on Bayview. All right. My name is Diane Gray, and I am one of the newer board members of the San Francisco Friends of the Public Library. I'm wearing the hat today of a Bayview Koshland Fellow. And that organization, I'm here with two of our other members, Lydia Benson and Virgie Newman. And we have decided as a group, a Bayview Fellows group, we're funded, we get some funding through the San Francisco Foundation, and we had commissioned actually a project that you'll see in the library, in the courtyard, of a tile project. And it's a lovely, lovely project. We had some monies left over, and we said, you know what? We want that to be gifted further to the library moving forward for programs and anything else that the facility needs. So we decided as a group that $12,000 is going to be donated to the Bayview Library.
Thank you, Diane. I also want to make a special thank you to Zipcar Barriere for funding the opening today, and Recology for their support for today's opening. Louise?
You know, I know it's tight over here, it's a little crowded, but what does that say? It says that there's true ownership in our neighborhood for this library. That's fantastic. I also want to make sure that I take a moment to acknowledge some other partners. We've already mentioned the Koshland Fellows. They were terrific in helping us throughout the planning and design process, but also the Bayview YMCA. And I know Gina Frommer from the executive director is out there. They helped us keep library services going throughout the construction through what we call the Bayview. Let's give them a round of applause, folks. Gina, where are you? There you are. Thank you so much for your wonderful help. We're almost done, but I want us to acknowledge two individuals that have given volunteer time for over 20 years in the neighborhood. It's called the Council of Neighborhood Libraries, and your representatives were there from the very beginning because they had the vision of having a new library. So I want to particularly acknowledge Miriam Pavis and Larry Ware. Where are they? Larry, Miriam. Miriam's back here. Larry's back here. Thank you so much for all your wonderful, wonderful support. Thank you, Miriam. Let's give them a big round of applause, folks. Here they are. Terrific. Terrific. Also in the neighborhood, we had some returnees, folks that were branch managers, branch librarians here many years ago. So they've come full circle. So we have Annie Young and Ruth McGinnis. I want to also acknowledge, here she is, right here in the front. Terrific. Thank you for all your wonderful work with our youth for many, many years. Okay, we're just about ready for our big celebration. So as is our tradition, we have a ribbon cutting, and then we're going to have the lion dancers bless the building. So I'm going to ask that you be a little patient, and we're going to have them do the ceremony, especially since it's the new Lunar New Year. But with that, I'm going to call the mayor to join me up front. And Malia. I'm going to ask the mayor and Malia to do the countdown. From 10 to 1. 10? Do a countdown. And then we're going to do the ribbon cutting.
Where's the ribbon at?
The ribbon is coming.
Oh, you got one. That's right. No.
You're going to help us count to 10? Count from 10? We need some help.
All right, everyone. Are we ready? Okay, we're going to start at 10, and we're going to go down. You ready?
You ready?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right.
All right, let's hear it for the lion dancers from the Community Youth Center.